All right, everybody. Hey, we've got our one more speaker here with Note Camp 22, but I will tell you this, for some of you, especially those of you that mentioned that you need help in getting automation and getting enough done, or you're working at your job so much that you don't have spare time, this is going to be the most important session for you to help you take your business, your real estate, your capital raising to a whole different level. And we are honored to have Preston Strada from Reva Global. What does Reva stand for? Real Estate VAs. And I'm a huge fan of what Reva does. Been a client for years. Recommend them out. Anybody says, I need a VA, this is the group that you need to talk to. And we believe in so much what they do. We've taken our videos and our training on the raising capital and calling the asset manager, and actually it's on file for Reva for any of their clients that are note investors out there. So I'm not going to take away anything more from Preston, because he's the guy here you're going to want to listen to. You're going to want to take some notes. And like I said, maybe one of the most impactful sessions for all of you out here. So Preston, thank you so much. I know you said you had a 4-hour drive back in, you're visiting family. Thanks for being here, man, on Note Camp.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, Scott. I'm excited to talk about using VAs for note investing. Should be a good session.
Oh yeah, definitely. And it's key. I was always say, if you want to grow your business, you want to double your business, get an assistant. And this is one of the easiest ways to make it affordable for you. Yeah. So.
Absolutely. Okay, let me go and share my screen.
Yep.
Okay, can you see it?
Yes, sir. Yep, just put presentation mode.
Alrighty. It is loading. Okay, boom. Okay, thank you guys for joining me. I think I'm the last presenter here on Sunday, so I'll try to keep it short and concise. But basically what I want to go over is how you can automate and outsource about 90% of your note investing business using trained virtual assistants. And like Scott mentioned, we've worked with his team for a long time now, so we have everything he teaches in his business. And I'll show you how you can actually plug our VAs in. They're trained on it. And a lot of the note investing business is phone work. It's computer work. It's stuff it can be repetitive and time consuming and just not the best use of your time. So we always say one of the best automation tools is a great virtual assistant. So I'll show you, I got some infographics and like the processes that Scott trains. I'll show you visually how you can plug in VAs and use them for that. But I'll go through talking to self-directed IRA owners, building your list of leads, contacting them, contacting banks. All very powerful, like I said. So here we go. What I'm going to go over, like again, automate and outsource 90% of the note investing business to train virtual assistants. I'll go through sourcing self-directed IRA owners. We have a few different processes for that. And you kind of visually see what a VA will do for you and how they'll build that list for you. Then contacting the self-directed IRA owners. So they're going to build a list. They'll reach out to them, keep notes on that. Contacting banks. It's very big for finding these non-performing and performing notes. Follow-up automation is one of the biggest. I always say it's one of the best hires you can make is a follow-up VA, just consistently contacting people, because most deals are done in the follow-up. And so that is huge for what we do. Cold calling automation, just that outbound phone work is just great to have a virtual assistant do. They're trained for this. They have call center background. We check for all of these boxes before we place them with clients, so they're ready to go. Skip tracing, and then I'll go over a little bit of social media marketing, just what they can do to keep your business, have that active online presence. But again, like I said, there's a lot of phone work and computer work when it comes to finding these notes and IRA owners, and it can all be handled by virtual assistants that we manage and we train for you. So what sets us apart? We get asked this a lot, what kind of sets Reva apart from the others? And I'll give you a quick 2-second rundown. Bob LaChance is our founder. He's been on the podcast a few times, but he actually uses our VAs in his business. He's got a real estate investing business out of Connecticut. And so we know this works. He's got a team of VAs managing his lead generation, his follow-up, transaction coordination. So all of this work is being done, and he's only focusing on the income producing tasks. And I think last year they did over 150 transactions. They're projecting over 200 this year. And I just say that because, like I said, he's using it, so it gives us a unique edge, and we know it works. A lot of this stuff comes out from what's working in our business, and we can actually see and implement that with our VAs. So we have a 4-step recruiting and interview process. We do a VA system check and background check. The system check here's making sure they have the adequate technology, a backup system in case anything goes down. They've got good internet speed. So we check all that up front for you. You're not dealing with any of that work. We also do a 3-point competency and language proficiency check. Not a lot of people know this, but English is the national language of the Philippines. So their English proficiency is wonderful. They've got neutral accents, and that's obviously a big priority for investors who are looking to have them on the phones for us. And then lastly,
I have to talk about that, Preston. Yeah, because you were but the workflow coordinator called me, and I'm talking. I thought she was in Connecticut. I was like, "Oh, you guys in Connecticut or Atlanta?" She's like, "No, I'm in the Philippines." I'm like, "Whoa, you have no accent whatsoever." It's like, wow.
Yeah, it blows me away a lot. Half the time, people think they're from California, Connecticut. But no, you have no idea. So that's obviously one of the big reasons why in the Philippines, it's a huge call center industry there. So a lot of our cold calling VAs, they're used to talking to people on the phones, especially Americans. So they do a lot of that work already. And so they're already used to that. But yeah, neutral accents is huge if they're going to be on the phones for you. And then we do a disc profile and predictive index, which is pretty cool. I won't go too much into that, but if you guys aren't familiar, you can check it out. But it's a cool way, even for your team, your in-house team. But it kind of gives you an idea of what their characteristic like strengths and weaknesses are. So if you're going to have a VA on the phone for you, you kind of want someone with a high D and high I. They're more dominant, they're assertive, they're outgoing. If you have like an admin VA, someone who's good at like admin work, data entry and whatnot, but they're more introverted, they're not going to be good on the phones for you. So we do all that, and we place them for you. It's a custom placement program. And then so we have a 4-week real estate intensive training for our VAs. We have a whole department in the Philippines that are constantly, every month, they're recruiting and sourcing. They're going through hundreds, if not thousands, of resumes. So from there, they put them into our, if they check all the boxes there, they go into our training program. And then they have to graduate from our training program to become a Reva VA. So I think we have like a 5% hiring rate, but we just want to make sure that they're checking all of our boxes so we can place them with clients, and that they're some of the best VAs. They're pretty much executive level VAs. I love working with them. I work with them every day, and very similar values to us too. Then we also have a VA benefit package, paid healthcare for them, paid time off, paid training. So, and we also do team building events. We go to the Philippines a couple times a year. COVID kind of threw a wrench in that, but we're kind of back to it now. We got one coming up in November, and we do charitable programs, give back to their communities, just to show we appreciate them, we support them, and we want them to have long success here. So that's just kind of a background of what sets us apart and about our company. Go to the next slide. So why is this important? So these are the 3 buckets. When people are looking to outsource to a VA, we've noticed that they're typically falling into 3 of these buckets, and it's either scale, efficiency, or time freedom. So scale it's a buzzword, it's going around. Everybody's got a different definition of scale, but so it can be going from doing 1 to 2 deals a month to doing 2 to 4. Whatever that is, you're moving the needle forward in your business. It doesn't have to be 10x you hear all the time. It doesn't have to be that. Whatever your definition of scale is, just doing more deals more efficiently while saving on expenses and without adding more work to your plate. The second bucket is efficiency, kind of removing some of those bottlenecks. So they can, VAs are great for improving the efficiency of your processes. And I can't tell you how many times I've had a VA come to me, it's like, Preston, he's like, why don't we start doing this instead? And we can eliminate this step. And it just blows my mind. And I'm always open to that. I always encourage them to give me feedback like that, because a lot of times they can do some of this stuff better than I even realize. And then lastly is time freedom. Everybody would want to get our time back. And so that could be focusing on more time with your family or focusing on your business. But what we've seen, the most successful businesses working with virtual assistants are ones that they actually make the VAs feel like they're part of the team. So bringing them into those weekly meetings or daily stand-ups, checking in with them every day. When some people start with us and they kind of just leave the VAs and they feel like they're on an island on their own, just like do this work and they're not getting contacted. Those typically aren't the best relationships. We always encourage making them part of your team, and they like working for these businesses. So, all right, so now to the meat and potatoes. So these are some of the tasks that Scott teaches. So we'll go over sourcing for self-directed IRA owners and what that looks like using a VA in that process. So this is going to be focused on the county and appraiser website. So we got our Reva Global virtual assistant here. This is what the process looks like. So they'll access the property appraiser or county website for you. And I've gone through, we've gone through this with them, everything you need to look for. And what they're doing is they're going to be building this list of leads for you, the contact info. And a lot of it is just tedious work. You're looking for these IRA owners and trying to get their information. You have to go through a few different steps. Some websites are easier to manage than others, but the point is they're handling all of this for you to build this list of leads and then contacting them, trying to set appointments for you. So they're going to search for all the IRA owners on that website, gather the info for them, and then they're going to build it. We have trackers built out by what Scott teaches. So they'll put the owner name here, who the actual IRA holder name is, the address. If there's no contact number, no email, we do the work to get that for you. But they're just doing all this work to build this list for you. It's just, it can be very tedious and time consuming, and it's excellent to have a VA take off your plate. So you're only talking to people who are motivated. They've already been contacted. There's motivation there. They're ready to hear an offer. And that's what your focus would be. So that's for sourcing through the property appraiser and county website. Then we're going to go through LinkedIn. I think you teach this on yours as well, Scott. So Octopus CRM, it's a pretty cool tool if you're reaching out. A lot of these people are on LinkedIn. So just building your list of leads through LinkedIn. And this is perfect for a VA. I've used it and I've set them up on my team to do it for us. But basically what they're going to do is use this tool, and it can send out like hundreds of contact messages to people on LinkedIn. And what you're trying to do is you're just trying to start a conversation with them. I typically like to drop either an email or phone number, or I'll do a website link sometimes so they can go contact us through there. But it's a powerful tool, and it's really easy to use. We have VAs trained on it, and I'll show you what the process actually looks like. But you have Air set up. So your Reva Global Virtual Assistant, they're going to search on LinkedIn. Now there's a free version you can search for. You can set all your parameters. You can search for by location, job title, the company they work for, previous companies they worked for. I found the free version to be fine for all of our needs, but there's a paid tool that LinkedIn offers. It's called the Sales Navigator, and it lets you get a lot more granular and robust in what you're searching for. So if that works for you, that works for you. But basically, they're going to search for this, and then they'll transfer all of these profiles. And it's typically, I like to do about like 100 to 140 a day. And they're going to transfer it into the Octopus CRM. And then the Octopus CRM is going to go through all of these leads for you and send your responses out to them. And the whole purpose of this, again, is to get them to contact you, see if there's any motivation there, or go to your website, whatever it may be. So the VA, and again, the VA is handling all this for you. They're doing all the work to find these leads. They're going to send them through the Octopus outreach, and then they're going to be dealing with the back and forth. Or if they're calling you, they can do lead intake. Lead intake's huge for VAs. So this is what it looks like. They're going to launch the campaign and start connecting with IRA owners for you, and then put all that, gather the leads, put them into your CRM, keep your CRM updated. They're taking notes, every time they're talking to them, any emails, what that looks like. So you're staying on top of them, but they're perfect for that. This is just for finding them on LinkedIn, which is very powerful. Okay, contacting self-directed IRA owners. So now they've done all that work. You've got a bunch of leads built up, and now they need to contact them. And sometimes there's work you got to do to actually find their contact info, whether that's skip tracing, or I'll show you in a couple of slides a different way. But basically, you're going to send out, whether it's a postcard, email, or phone call to them. They're going to do that for you. And again, the purpose, you're just gauging motivation. You just want to know if they're interested in hearing an offer, and you want them to set appointments for you. They're great at doing that. And we got scripts built out for if they're a warm or cold lead. So these are Scott's scripts, and I'll go through in a few slides all the other scripts we have. But they're ready to go. Obviously, you can use your own scripts, or you can tweak these scripts to your liking. But then we have a tracker built out. Now you got them all these leads in here, and they're going to be contacting them. So the date that they reached out, what their motivation's looking like, if they're warm or cold, if they're interested in hearing an offer. If they respond, what the next action taken, and then just notes on that client. So this is just a way to keep track of all your leads and making sure they're being touched in some way. So I'll go through some statistics in a little bit. And I think it's like an average of 7 to 12 touches, and it touches a phone call, a text, a postcard, whatever it is. But on average, it's about 7 to 10 to convert a lead. And so they're doing all this for you, and that is the beauty of it. So very powerful stuff, and that's just on the contacting side. Skip tracing done for you. Again, another easy, very easy, repetitive, or not repetitive, easy to implement task for a VA. But all these IRA owners, you're not going to get phone numbers all the time. So we got to go through the work to actually get those for you. You're getting contact info. So they'll do that all for you. They'll compile and organize it into the tracker for you. We throw them into the CRM. I like to tag all of our leads. It's very good just good practice to keep your CRM organized. And you can do segment, what their motivation is. So you just tag them different ways. And then back to the contact, they're going to start connecting with all of these leads for you. And then everything is done for you, keeping notes on that, following up. Again, follow up is huge. I'll go through the slides in a minute. But that's just on the skip tracing side. Very easy. It's a tedious task that's business owners should honestly not be doing. So great for a virtual assistant. Next, we got cold calling. Okay, so this is one of the most effective lead generation methods we see. So all the clients we've been working with, cold calling is one of the biggest tasks that we service for our clients. And as the second point says, it is often the most difficult to stay consistent with, and it often leads to burnout. I think we've all probably cold call. It just saps your energy. You're dealing with negative feedback all the time. You get demotivated. And I honestly can't even, if I did it myself, I couldn't hit the numbers that these VAs do. Again, the Philippines are known their call center industry. So a lot of our cold calling VAs have call center experience. They're used to hammering the phone and just going through these through these leads for you. Typically, you need a dialer to hit these numbers, but we have VAs doing about 400, 600 calls a day. And again, they're just gauging motivation for you, setting appointments for you. So you're talking to the people that are actually motivated and they want to hear your offers. So definitely a great task to have a VA do. I can't stress that enough. But yeah, cold calling for sure is one of the best lead generation methods we're seeing. And I think I would say text messaging might be second, and then direct mail. So imagine hundreds of sellers contacted for you using your script consistently every day. I'm gonna be a broken record about this, but consistency is the key word. Having them consistently reach out is huge. And that's why follow-up is such a big deal. But so that's cold calling. This is what the process looks like. So we have our VAs, we actually have them pull lists, wherever you guys get your lists from, whatever it is, have them pull that list for you, or you can pull the list, provide the list for them. If it's not skip traced, have them, they're going to run that. They're going to skip trace it for you, organize all that data. We then have them go into whatever your preferred dialer is. We've got 5.9 Mojo and call tools here. There's some other ones though, but a dialer just helps them. They can actually hammer some of these phones, and they're going to call your list multiple times. And again, just gauge motivation and set appointments on your calendar. That's so important. So this is kind of what the process looks like. And then you're getting notified for any hot leads. I have them ding you. Your CRM is being updated. They can reach out by email, but the point is you just want to keep touching these leads and just keep being in front of them. So when they're ready, you're ready, because motivation changes. It can change by the day. One day a lead is highly unmotivated and something can happen. And then the next day they're very motivated. So I think we do, I think we break it down by warm, hot, and cold. And then I think it's every 7, 14, and 21 days we follow up with them. And that's a phone call, an email, and a text. And so we're just consistently staying in front of them. And so when they're ready, we're typically the first ones on their mind that they're going to contact. So very powerful. But yeah, that's what the process looks like for our cold calling VAs. Okay, contacting banks. This is another thing what you teach, Scott. So where our VAs use Bauer Financial and in conjunction with Lane Guide. So you're going to use Bauer Financial, they're going to access, and they're going to build a list of banks. You get, if you can see right here, you get the whole list of banks. You can see all the information, bank rating, how leveraged they are, what percent of their portfolio is non-performing notes. So typically you'll take, obviously in your market, and then you're going to sort it by that. And then Lane Guide is actually what you're going to use, because typically these phone numbers, you'll see that come up in here. I think Scott says you're going to be dialing for dollars. You're just going to be getting rerouted everywhere. So Lane Guide is great for actually finding the contact info for the special asset managers. And this is perfect for a VA because it's so tedious. It's a lot of work, and it's just, you're dealing with obviously Excel files and whatnot and calling people, but they're going to be building this list of special asset managers for you. And that's the whole goal. So once this list is built for you, you got all the contact info, then you can start the outbound reach. So they're going to do email, postcard, or call them. And again, gauging for motivation. Do they want to hear an offer? Are they interested? And then if yes, we're going to set an appointment on your calendar. You're going to be talking to motivated people. So obviously the whole point of this is to take all the menial, repetitive, tedious, time-consuming tasks off your plate, which is what a lot of this can be. And so you're only focused on the income producing tasks that is like driving revenue for your business. You want to be talking to people that are motivated as the business owner. So it's contacting banks, nurturing campaigns. So this kind of goes with follow-up, but we have VAs manage the entire nurturing process. So that includes follow-up emails to asset managers, just obviously keeping in contact with them, email broadcast to your list. They can even help you build your list. Follow-up phone calls is super important. And then CRM management, just having a lead manager, VA is just super important. So we do all of this for you, and this ties into follow-up, and I'll kind of break that down a little more. So virtual assistants for following up. A consistent follow-up process means money. So we got it right here, about 70 to 80% of all deals are closed in follow-up. And honestly, from what we've seen, we would say it's higher to about 80 to 90% of our deals. You hardly ever get a one-call close. You know, everybody wants it, but it just doesn't happen. And then the next point, it takes on average 7 to 12 touches to convert a lead. And it's often one thing not maintained in our business. You know, we can get, sometimes we cherry pick, or we're just going by, the leads get buried. And if you're not having someone constantly follow up with them, you're just missing out on a lot of deals. So instead of trying to manage all the follow-up yourself, automate your follow-up with a virtual assistant. Now I'll break down a few statistics here. So these are industry average statistics. Only 2% of sales close at the initial meeting. Like I said, you hardly ever get a one-call close, and it just doesn't happen like that. So the average follow-up drop-off rates, this is important because 44% of sales reps stop following up after just one rejection. 22% stop after 2, 14 after 3, and 12 after 4. So almost half are done following up after one rejection, and 92% are done after the 4th no. And if we remember the slide before, if we're getting 70 to 80% of deals are in the follow-up, and it takes 7 to 12 touches, and 92% of people are done after the 4th no, there's a lot of gold in there. There's a lot of deals to be made. And that's why it's so important to have a follow-up VA. I can't stress that enough. That's what I always say is one of the most important hires you can make, because we're just seeing so many deals being made through following up, just consistently touching. I think Bob, just recently we just had he had a deal close, and I think we were following up with this guy for like 8 months. It was wild, but finally the motivation changed. He got the deal, and he got I think it was a very nice assignment fee. But so that's the power of follow-up. Definitely great to have a VA do. You shouldn't be handling that, but it needs to be getting done. A lot of these are tasks that are necessary for the business, but they're not necessary for you to do. They're just some of the lower dollar tasks that can be obviously affordably outsourced to a trained VA. So there's some follow-up stats. Like I mentioned earlier, these are the done for you scripts that we have built out. We work with Scott's team. So for all these different situations, they're ready to go. We have initial email scripts that the VAs will use, the response scripts, depending if they're interested or not. Inbound call scripts. So if you send out, you do a direct mail campaign, you can use your VAs for the lead intake, and they're screening them right there. Again, setting appointments for you. Elevator pitch scripts, elevator response scripts, yes and no, and then voicemail scripts. So again, I'm just saying we have all these scripts ready. These VAs are trained. They know these processes, but for note investing, and obviously you can adjust these scripts to your need or use your own scripts if you like, but just less time that you have to implement training and providing scripts, obviously. So those are done for you scripts. Social media marketing, this is huge for VAs. This is another task that a lot of people use our virtual assistants for, and they're great at. So you can automate all of your marketing with VAs. They're great at content creation. It's important to have an active online presence. When people go check out your business or they're checking you out, just showing that you're posting, that you're online, you're engaged is huge. It can be very credible. You have them post testimonials. You can use them to get testimonials. Content creation is big, whether it's graphic design, writing articles for SEO, posting content to your all your socials, podcast management. We use them for podcasts all the time, whether that's placing us on podcasts or Bob has his own podcast, and we use them to get people on there as well. So whatever it may be, it's just important to have an active online presence for your company, your brand. as far as marketing goes, because without marketing, we have no business. You need to have leads coming in, and it's important to stay up to date with that. So they're perfect for that. Again, it's another low dollar repetitive task that needs to get done, but doesn't necessarily have to get done by you.
I love this because I literally give Jocelyn my buffer login. So she goes in there, scheduled. We have a 30-minute meeting on Mondays. Talk about what we're going to talk about that week. I give her specific chores. And it's great. She sends me an update of work completion. If I need to change, we do it. But she goes in there, pulls stuff, creates images. She logs into my Canva. She logs into my LinkedIn. She logs into all the stuff. And it's just, she loves it. I mean, it's always good. Yeah, like you said, well, what about this? It's like, oh, that looks better than I thought I would do it. That's great. Yeah. Perfect.
No, those are mine half the time because they're better at doing a lot of this stuff than me. And sometimes, people don't want to let go of control of certain parts, but you'll be surprised how well they can do some of this stuff. But yeah, Canva's huge. They're comfortable working at that. And yeah, we have scheduling programs so you can schedule all your posts across all your socials. And you can use them for video editing. Obviously, TikTok's coming up, whether you want to do or just your podcast management stuff. But a lot of stuff that can be done for you by VAs as far as marketing and just branding.
Yeah, I used Jason with the podcast. I pulled the list off a list of notes, sent her a list. Hey, go find the last 3 episodes of these and put in there who they have. And then she sent me the list. I said, okay, now send this to them. So she booked me on 100 shows last year alone.
Wow.
Without me having to do any of the work.
No, that's the beauty of it. I did the same thing. We got a list. I actually have them use Octopus before. And you can search on LinkedIn for the job title or in their job title. A lot of people have podcast host. So you search for that, pull the whole list, transfer to the CRM. Then it's just outreach. You're getting booked on podcasts. And it's a great way, obviously a great way to keep your brand out there and get your message out. But yeah, as far as any marketing goes, and again, there we go. The best marketing method for your business is consistency. I always say that it's super important. Just consistently being out there, consistently reaching out to people, reaching out to your leads, following up, staying on top of them. It's huge, and it will definitely lead to more business. So outsource your marketing to a trained virtual assistant so you can focus on the income producing tasks that grow your business. Again, we always break it down to income producing task and non-income producing task. And as a business owner, you want to be focused on the income producing task, whatever's going to move the needle forward in your business, whether it's talking to sellers or going on appointments. That's what you need to be focused on, like social media management. It needs to be done, but it's probably best to have that affordably outsourced to a VA. So as far as more, I guess, in the social media management, it's great to have content calendars built. We do this with our VAs, and they can do this for you. So now you know what content is being put out there. They can schedule the posts. There's a couple, Buffer and Loomly. Again, they schedule it across all your socials. So whether it's a testimonial, you're going to quote out there, a tactical tip, you're just staying present, and they're handling all of this for you. And you can go through an approval process if you want. Some people like to do that, but just having a calendar built out. So I do the same thing with my VAs. I just have them go a week ahead. And so all of our posts are scheduled for the entire week. And so that week they're working on next week's post. And then if there's any new updates throughout the week, you can just have them obviously post those. But it's super helpful to have a content calendar. And I know you mentioned Canva. Canva's wildly popular right now. They actually have a content calendar on there. And so we use that too. If you guys use Canva, it's a great tool to use. You can actually schedule through Canva now, and it'll post on all your socials. And yeah, it's great to have just all that laid out in front of you. Email broadcast. Email is huge. I'm always doing email broadcasts on our team. So I've got we broke it down on the right here for the ratings by effectiveness, and email marketing is definitely one of the most effective ways to get business. And it's great to have even a VA create content that's going to build your email list, whether that's lead magnets or just reaching out. A lot of VAs do social selling. You can join relevant Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups. You're sending a message out, or whatever you can do to build your list, opt them in. And then you're sending emails out, you're following up. And all of this is getting done for you. That's broken down. So definitely email is still very effective. Some people think it's dead, but it's definitely not. I know we deal with it. But your VA can build campaigns. They'll grow your email list, like I mentioned, monitor the performance, have them report the KPIs to you, what's working, what's not working. You can have them A/B test or doing split testing. But again, all of this is getting done for you. It's definitely necessary to have in your business, but you don't need to be doing it yourself. And then do what you do best and outsource the rest. It's a little saying we got around here. I think Gary Keller talks about it in his book, but staying in your genius zone. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of tasks that we excel at and some that just aren't good for us to be doing or could be done better by someone else. And so that's why we say the best automation is a great virtual assistant. And that's the boom. You can, if you want to learn more about how VAs can help you with your note investing business, you can go to thinkreva.com/notes. We also have a free download there. It's a great little download for, it's over 100 tasks a VA can help do in your business. And I use that. I look at that checklist probably every couple of months, and I just get more ideas on what they can, what I can outsource. But yeah, if you go there, you can schedule a call with us. We'd love to talk to you, see how we can assist you guys, and then yeah, do some more work.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Most amount of growth we ever had is once we brought on a Reva Global assistant to help take care. And one of the great things that you didn't mention, Preston. I mean, I know it's definitely a family atmosphere. They want to be a part of your business. But you also have a plug and play aspect of what you do. So if somebody goes down sick, like we had one of our VAs, her father passed away, took a week of bereavement. We were like, go ahead. But we weren't down for a week. You guys plugged and played somebody in there. We spent a little time training her, sent her a few videos on what we do, and she was off and running, even really see a hiccup. You know what I mean?
Perfect for that. So you're never having to deal with that, especially you can like step away from your business. The work is still getting done. It's just super powerful. So we definitely understand that.
Carolyn asked, what are the costs? I was just about to get that. What's the price point to hire a virtual assistant these days?
So it is $10.60 an hour, and we do part-time and full-time. Part-time is 20 hours per week, and full-time is 40 hours per week. We've tested a lot of different models, and that's the best one that works for us. So we don't really do much project management. We like to provide long-term VA hires for our clients and for our VAs. Yeah, just $10.60 across the board, and yeah, part-time, full-time. There's no time commitment contracts. You can come in, and we'll help you out.
Yeah, they'll pick from a great group of people and usually give you 2 or 3 resumes to take a look at, and then you'll have an interview with those 2 or 3 and talk with them. That's what we did. And I said I wanted to pick all of them. I was like, I can't hire all 3 of you right now. I'll take 1 or 2 and then go from there. So
yeah, that's great. Yeah, we have a whole custom placement program. So when you talk to our lead intake specialist, they'll get an idea of what you need done and what you're looking to have them do for you. And then we'll go into our pool. Like Scott said, we'll pull 2 to 3 VAs for you. You can interview them, check their work, look at their resumes. And then if there's a mesh, we go from there. If not, we can even pull some more VAs for you. And so it's custom placed. We like to say it's like match.com. We're matching you guys.
Well, and that's one important thing I think people need to realize. You see Fiverr and people do projects on Fiverr. That's great. But you still got to train those people what they want to do. And if they're going to do it long term, they get somebody that's going to offer them $7, $8 an hour more than what you're paying. They're going to go to that new job. $10.60 an hour is competitive, but it's still a whole lot cheaper than what we would pay here for an employee in staff. Buying a computer, you don't need to buy a computer. They're communicating via WhatsApp back and forth. If you want them work while you're working, great. Or if you want them working off hours, it's so flexible. You guys have really honed this down to a well-oiled machine.
Yes. So no, it's a lot of work, but yeah, it's perfect. We do all the placement for you. We do have a client service managers in place, so it's a full service because managing them is a lot. So you're going to get a start of day report. You'll get an end of day report. You have a manager there who's checking in on them, making sure they're showing up every day. We handle all that for you. You can reach out to them if there's any issues or anything you need to talk with them about, and they check in with you a couple times a month just to make sure everything's running smoothly. So we have a lot of those checks just to make sure that we're providing a full service to our clients.
So Carolyn asks, who does the bookkeeping for taxes?
Wait, what is that?
Who does the bookkeeping for taxes? So you're paying via a PayPal or via your credit card, and that goes into Reva, and Reva takes care of all of that. Yeah, you're
just paying us directly. We invoice twice a month, bi-weekly, And yeah, you just pay us one bill. That's it. There's no other, I guess, taxes to worry about. We take care of all that for you. So yeah, just sending us. We'll send you an invoice once every 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. 20. I want to work 4 hours a week, or I want to work 3 days a week. I can hit that 20. Trust me, the most powerful thing you can do. I'm gonna tell you right now, everybody, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Go to the link. Download the 100 things you can outsource a VA to do, because Preston just touched roughly. I mean, if you want to spend some time, give me a phone call. I can add another 100 to 200 things that you all need to be doing, because you can do so much more. Besides, they can help you do due diligence. They can help you with the skip tracing on the deal flow. They can jump on LinkedIn. It's such a valuable service to have one or two. You may not need one person to handle it. You may need two people that are working 20 and 20.
Yeah, all the time. We'll have some clients, they'll have two part-time people, and they work your hours. So whatever your time zone is, we work your hours. And we have some clients who do two part-time VAs. One works the morning shift, one works the afternoon shift. You need to work on the weekends, whatever it is. But yeah, we'll work with you guys for sure.
And that's the thing, guys. One of you got, well, not one of you. A lot of you said you need more help in getting times done and being organized. And I guarantee you start paying for a VA, you will get organized very quickly to put them to work. It's just a case that we see things like, oh God, I got to give them something to do. Yes, you need to give them something to do, but it takes so much of that. And if you're doing $15 an hour jobs, you have a $15 an hour bank account.
Yeah, we say that a lot too.
I think I got it from Amy, actually. So you can tell Amy I got that from her, I think. But
okay. That makes sense.
But it's the truth. Y'all are majoring in minor details most of the time.
Yeah, exactly.
And you don't need to do that. Hand the minor details off. You guys need to be working big picture and delegating to your team so that you're compounding yourself. You want to make $100,000, hire an assistant. You want to make $200,000, hire 2 assistants, because your assistant is worth at least $100,000 to you by either raising capital, which is pretty easy in the IRA stuff. They've got it all down, or reaching out to asset managers. And there's different lists. Somebody mentioned about Lane Guide. With Lane Guide, if you don't have access to it, it's not really viable anymore in just a recent month or two. But there are other sources that we've sent. Reva say, hey, you can use the IMN list, or you can use the Western Secondary Team. There's different places for you to pull the information, or Sales Navigator. The thing here, ladies and gentlemen, is they will find you deals. They will help you with a follow-up. They will help you with your marketing. You give them your login, they can log in and take care of you. I mean, my VA was logging into Bigger Pockets and posting things for me. They were logging into LinkedIn and updating articles. I mean, I think I have 500 articles, and there's 450 of them that were uploaded by my VAs from Reva to go on there, and then logging in each day and publishing it and sharing it across every other platform out there. This is how we get so much done without having to have huge overhead, office space, training. Now, I've had a staff. I had a staff of 4 people paying more than $20 an hour, and then an office spot, and then you're paying taxes and insurance. This is like having a full-time employee that you're paying $20-25 an hour, who's not going to leave you, who's very motivated. And here's the thing: you give them a little bonus. It's different monetary wise. Christmas bonus and stuff like that, $10-20 an hour. That goes a long way in the Philippines than it does here.
It absolutely does. No, it absolutely does. I did see one question is, can the VAs communicate with us by text? We use, like you said, WhatsApp a lot. WhatsApp is a free app you can download. And it's just like text messaging. We use Ring Central, but like Slack or Monday.com, any of those programs, you can talk to them every day. You can see if they're online, checking in. Yeah. But yeah, WhatsApp is typically what we use for the texting side. I think Viber is one too. I've not used Viber before, but I've heard of it.
But WhatsApp is what's most universal on that stuff there for you to make things. And then if you got an emergency, I was getting, Jason was saying, hey, I got here's something that popped up, or I need a new login, or your password expired, or something like that. So yes, you can give them your login to keep and help you update your message, upload lists, upload your CRM,
Yeah, we just keep a lot. You can actually add users to it. You can give them permissions, So if you want your VA in there, they'll have their own login for the Keep CRM. And you can have permission so they can't do anything nefarious. Not that they would, but just to have a little more control over that, just setting permissions. So we've used Keep before.
Yeah, I know it's Sunday, guys, and you're probably brain dead. Put an IP phone for the Reva person so she can make calls. Means that no longer true. No, you still need to have an IP phone call. Give them a phone number, whether it's was a call rail or something like that, David. Yeah, if you want to make phone calls, you got to give them an IP phone so they can access it for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody has their own dialer preference, so we let them provide that typically with clients.
Yeah. Yeah, you still need to do that, David, but you just got to take action. If you don't have the time or the bandwidth, you got to hire somebody to take action for you. And this is one of the smartest, most affordable, and effective ways of being able to put somebody who's hired, trained, understands it, efficient in it, because training and hiring people, most of you guys don't have the time to do that.
Yes, exactly. And you definitely be surprised. Like you said, we hear it all the time. I wish I would have started sooner. You don't realize how many tasks you can actually start taking off your plate once you get started. And you're just like, no, now I want them to do this. I want them to manage this for me. I do it all the time. And as long as you're just staying on top of them and just checking in, it'll definitely go a long way for sure.
Yeah, exactly. They want that feedback. And that's why it's important to communicate with them on a regular basis, like anybody else, because they want that feedback. Absolutely. And they want to know that they're doing a good job, or how can they get better at it. And that was one of the things. Always, hey, what can we do better? Did I do it okay?
Right.
Can they use a Google number? Yeah, but it's still got to have something they can actually what do you call it? Accept phone calls on. So yeah.
Yeah, I think they can use a Google number. Yeah. Are there any more questions?
Cool. Any other questions, guys or gals? thinkreva.com/notes. Download the 100-point checklist, the ebook on that. It's well worth reading.
Yeah, download that.
Dude, it's so valuable. It's
I
like,
use it all the time.
Yeah, same here. Definitely there. Well, Preston, thank you so much for coming on here on Note Camp and hightailing it back home 4-hour drive there for you.
But no, thank you very much, Scott, and thank you everybody for taking the time to join me today. I'm glad to have this. If you want me, I can send these slides over, or I guess I'll have the replay. But if you need to, I can send the slides. You guys can have this.
Yeah, go ahead. If you don't mind, shoot me the link to them. That's fine. And I'll shoot you over a couple edits to some things have changed as well for you, which is easy to do. So
okay, cool.
That's thinkreva.com/notes. That's thinkreva.com/notes. So thank you, Preston. We'll see you later, buddy.
Thank you very much, Scott. You have a good rest of your day.